Rod man. We
Herbie.
live? We live, my boy?
Uh, I don't see it on YouTube yet. Oh, it says live right now. It has the live symbol on. Let me see. Oh yeah, we're good. We're live. We're live. We're live, baby.
We're good? All right. Okay, let's get into it. Rod man, we are on the heels of the final game of the 2025 NFL season for your Miami Dolphins, and it went out with a whimper. Bam, bam, bam. No hat today. Brown paper bag is in full effect. Rodman, the Miami Dolphins got destroyed by the chief rival New England Patriots to the illustrious numbers of 38-10. Now, we don't really care about the final score. This is the end of the season. The Dolphins were not making the playoffs. We were watching this game for one reason only, and it was to evaluate. And it was to evaluate one person and one person only. And that man was by the name of Quinn Ewers, number 14. And for a half, he looked like the future. But there are always two halves to a football game, and in that second half, he looked like the guy that got drafted in the seventh round. But before we get into the game a little bit, let's just go ahead and give a rundown before what we're going to be doing today. So today episode is going to be a celebration of the 2025 season. We are just going to go ahead and give our list, the guys that we thought were the best of the 2025 season on the Dolphins, the worst on the of the Dolphins of the 2025 season, biggest surprises, biggest disappointments. And as you know, sometimes we always have a guest. We do have a guest this week, man. Somebody that has been on here multiple times, a great friend of the show and broadcast, man. But we got a lot to discuss and not a lot of time to discuss it, man. So let's bring it back to the game in hand. And we're just going to go ahead and do a little short summary, short recap of the embarrassing loss to the New England Patriots. Rod, the floor is yours, brother.
Well, Herbie, I mean, I think the thing that people fail to recognize this about the Miami Dolphins, so I'm just going to clue everybody in. See, the Miami Dolphins are actually a very poetic football team. Because here's the thing, as miserable and pathetic and disgusting as we started the season, we made sure to finish the exact same way. We came out the way we came in, like trash. And listen, Herbie, at the end of the day, if there is anything that signals that we should get rid of this coaching staff, that we should just start clean, let it be the effort that we saw from these guys in this game against the New England Patriots. And look, Herbie, I understand. We weren't playing with all of our guys. A-Chan, who is the offense, didn't play. Waddle didn't play. Like, we had basically our backup offense out there. But like you said, we were evaluating Quinn, and obviously, at best, Quinn showed, at least to me, that all right, we might have a decent backup next year. That's how I'm feeling about him after these 3 games, right? But look, Herbie, when you look at just the way this season has gone, it's just this game. This game perfectly encapsulates the Dolphins, Herbie. The fact that this is our 6th blowout loss of the season. The fact that the Dolphins have not scored a third quarter point since before Halloween. I mean, there are so many things that you can point to as to why this is just such an abomination of a football team. And to be honest, the best part about today, Herbie, as a Dolphin fan for this game is that the fact that the season's over. We don't have to worry about these guys anymore. We don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about wasting our Sundays subjecting ourselves to watching a football team of guys who just don't care or aren't good enough or whatever. As a fan, Herbie, you get tired of it. All right, 7-10 season, same old thing every year. We've been rebuilding since '99, bro. Like it's just the same old story. And today's game is just a perfect encapsulation of that. And Herbie, it literally went exactly how this season has gone. We play well in the first half because Mike McDaniel is a first half planning head coach. And then, come the third quarter, we are deers in headlights. Come the third quarter, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to improvise. We don't know how to do anything right. We can't execute at all. And this is just another showing of that, Herbie. So, when it comes to Quinn, listen, Quinn might be a decent backup. Maybe they'll allow him to have competition next year. But obviously, the Dolphins are in dire need of a quarterback. That's something we'll address when the time comes. But Poetic Dolphins, Herbie. Poetic
Yeah,
Dolphins.
very poetic Dolphin, man. So there's two things I want to address in in in
True
in
Blazer,
a in
my
a
brother
beautiful
in
way,
Maine.
man. You already know. It's over, man. That beautiful words for the home of two
Cheers, my
greats,
brother.
man. It is over. It's
Cheers.
finally over, man. So let's just go ahead and talk about the poetic justice that is the second half Miami Dolphins, man. The first half, touchdown, uh, drove down the field. Unfortunately, had a turnover, but you saw a team that was driving and driving and driving that could not be stopped. But then the second half came, and tricky Mike McDaniel showed his true talent, which is to not do anything in the second half, man. Here we go. Third quarter, 6 plays, 52 yards, interception in the end zone. Next drive, 6 plays, 6 yards, punt. Next drive, 3 plays, -1 yard, punt. Going into the fourth quarter, 3 plays, -9 yards, punt. 4 plays, 15 yards, punt. 3 plays, 1 yard, punt. That was the second half of the final game of the 2025 seasons for the Miami Dolphins. Like you said, they did what they did best. They came into this season trash and they finished strong as trash, man. Round of applause for the Miami Dolphins, man. Round of applause for the Miami
Herbie, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that really grinded my gears about this game. And it wasn't the fact that they threw Zach Wilson in. And anytime Zach Wilson is in a football uniform on your football team, you're probably going to see some uninspiring football. But that wasn't even
Oh, for sure.
what got me, Herbie, and what really just took me out the game. And this is, I don't know if any other fans feel this way, but there was a moment in this game, Herbie. The Dolphins, I think this was like late in the first half. We're driving. We are at a 3rd-and-1 situation after running the ball twice.
Mm-hmm.
The entire point of you even benching Tua and throwing Quinn out there is to see what you have, and you elect to run it a third time. What
Nasty.
are you trying
Nasty.
to this game? Like Herbie, like bro, I wrote that down in my notes because it was like, bro, we're supposed to see what we have. What's the point? What's the point?
So let's go into since the conversation, and that's a good transition point. So the conversation ultimately is about seeing what we have for, like I said at the beginning of the show, Quinn Ewers, right? And we did a lot of glazing last week, man. One of our most popular videos. A lot of people reacted. A lot of people reacted to the promise that Quinn showed, right? And this is what happens when you have bad coaching. Just because the game got away from you doesn't mean that your quarterback that looked really, really good in the first half looks like he has no idea what he's doing anymore, right? And again, I said that on last week's show. I said going back to Texas, the reason why he was a 7th-round pick is because when the brights got light, the brights got light, or the light, I don't even know what the hell I'm saying right now.
You were saying that something.
The lights get bright. I'm sorry. The lights get bright. I'm sorry. And I'm not even drunk, guys. That just lets you know that hey, man, when you get older, bro, your words start getting jumbled. You forget stuff. When the lights get bright, Quinn Ewers' booty gets tight. And we saw that in the second half. We saw inaccuracy. We saw the inability, everything that we gave him praise for and glazed him over last year, which is accuracy, throwing it and stuff. All of that went away. And it's the same people. It's the same person. Nothing changed. It's the same receivers out there. But when he feels pressure, and I don't mean pressure by lineman or anything like that, or a DN chasing him. I mean pressure of the situation. He falls apart mechanically, mentally, awareness-wise. Like ugly passes, ugly picks. The same guy that almost completed the throw of the year, and again, this was in the first quarter where he had that on 4th down, threw it on the run, literally put it in the wide receiver's hand. If the wide receiver holds onto the ball, that's the throw of the year. The same guy that was able to do that couldn't hit somebody 5 yards in front of him on a crossing route. Because when the lights get bright, his booty gets tight. So it is very disappointing. I was hoping to see more. Because you see, like, Quinn Ewers is not that much younger than Drake Maye. I think they're a year apart, if not 2 years apart. It shouldn't be that much of a difference from a guy that's going to potentially be the MVP and a guy that you hope could be the future. If we don't have any trust in Quinn Ewers, then good luck, because you can't get a quarterback. This ain't the quarterback draft to get one at all. So you got to ride with Quinn Ewers anyway next year.
I will tell you
Uh,
this. I'll say this, Herbie. I'll say this. I'm okay with riding with him next year. It's just that I'm not. I'm not there. I see many of my fellow Dolphins brothers and sisters who, I follow. I follow a whole bunch of fan pages on Facebook and obviously the community we have here, and I see the other communities on YouTube. There's a lot of people who are like already trying to crown Quinn Ewers, and all I'm saying is temper your expectation. Like this dude was a seventh round pick. Like you can't just. You might like what you see, but you have to also you can't ignore reality either. You know what I mean? You just can't ignore reality. And the reality is that Quinn was drafted seventh round for whatever various reasons, right? Guys
yeah.
fall for various reasons. You might have third round, second round, first round talent, and there are other reasons why you fall. But regardless of the case, Herbie, um, you know, I he I don't see him as the answer, but I'm okay. I'm okay with giving him an offseason to at least compete for the starting job. Maybe the Dolphins bring in somebody off the street. I don't know who the free agent quarterbacks are going to be, and I don't know
I
what.
mean, if put like this, if the free agent quarterbacks are free agent quarterbacks, you're better off with Quinn Ewers. The free agent quarterbacks are free agents for a reason. You, you're
Right,
not good.
which is my point. You might
Yeah,
as well see
you
what you
might
have.
as well. You might as
You know what I
well.
mean? You
So
might as well.
let
Yeah.
me get to this comment, and then we're gonna go ahead and transition over. New MVP odds after Rams and Patriots. Maybe just behind Stafford. We're gonna get to that. I still have Drake Maye. Like if you look at all the advanced stats, Drake Maye was better. Matthew Stafford was playing like a guy who wanted to win MVP. Drake Maye was playing like a guy who was just trying to win games. Even like today, if they wanted to boost Drake Maye's stats, he could have threw 5 touchdowns today, bro. They literally ran the ball all day. Matthew Stafford was not doing that. Matthew Stafford is trying to win an MVP, so we can't really compare their stats. But we'll get into that a little further down the show. So, listen, it was a tough loss. It was an embarrassing loss. It was a predictable loss, and in it was in line with what we saw for the Miami Dolphins for the entire season. But we could still finish on a high note. Everything isn't bad. Everything isn't good. There's always going to be positives and negatives to any football season. There's going to be positives and negatives to anything that you're watching when you're watching it for your enjoyment and you're watching professional sports, man. So, how about we do this? How about we, highlight the worst of the 2025 Dolphins as well as highlight the best of the 2025 Dolphins, man. So, Rod, who do you want to highlight? And we can start with the negative so we can finish on a high note, man. Who was the worst of the 2025 Dolphins in your eyes, Rod?
All right, Herbie. So my first choice for what went wrong for the Dolphins, the worst of the Dolphins in 2025, Herbie, the slow starts to the season. And let me just and I have this pulled up here on Pro Football Reference. The One of the problems that the Dolphins had this season, Herbie, was that for whatever reason, whether it was the way the season started, whether it was how the rookies got going, whether it was the defense, Herbie, I'm looking at the defensive statistics here. These are the first stats for, let's say, the first 7 weeks of the season. In the first game to the Colts, we allowed 156 rushing yards. Next game, 122. Next game, 157. Next game, 197 rushing yards. Next game, 239 to Rico Dowdle Panthers. 140 the next game. 104 the next game. We finally stopped the bleeding the following game against Atlanta. And then the game after that, against Baltimore, we allow 150 yards. Herbie, within the first 8 weeks of the season, our defense had 7 out of 8 games where we allowed over 100 yards rushing. One game where we had over 200. So you look at the slow start that the defense had, and that was just part of the defense's problem. We couldn't get any pass rush going. Okay, we couldn't do anything with our front seven. Our front seven was as bad as it got, with the exception of Jordan Brooks, who had to just plug as many holes as he could on the ship. Right? You look at the rookies. Jonas Savinaire was one of the worst linemen you ever saw to start the season. Kenneth Grant had us concerned to start the season. Now, these guys came on strong as the year went on, but it was concerning. The overall start to the season, Herbie, putting ourselves behind the 8 ball, 1-6. It was just that was a huge part of what went wrong. Especially when you think of the fact that some of those early games we had opportunities to win, but I'll get into further about what went wrong when it came to that. The next thing that went wrong, Herbie, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to read it how I wrote it down. Exactly. The Tyreek Hill era ended miserably and was overall disappointing. Herbie, I'm sure just about the only people who thought the Dolphins were going to win a Super Bowl were Dolphins fans when we got Tyreek. Some of us, not all of us, obviously. Dolphins fans, and then maybe the media when they got caught up in whatever win streaks we had early in McDaniel's tenure. But Herbie, when you really think about it, it was such a missed opportunity when you consider not just Tyreek Hill, Herbie, just the overall collection of talent that we had. And the saddest thing to me about it all is the fact that it took until this season for us to really, really see what McDaniel's coaching bones were when it came to the running game. This guy was the running game coordinator in San Francisco. This guy comes here and decides to tailor an offense directly for two guys, Tua and Tyreek. Waddle's numbers suffered. Devon Achane didn't get any real light until this season. Obviously, one, because he was healthy, but two, because Tyreek wasn't the primary target of the offense. So I think to how the seasons have gone in previous years, Herbie, and if Mike McDaniel had stuck to what he knew coming into the Dolphins, which was the running game, which was a specialty of his, supposedly, things could have been different. This man was so, what's the word I'm looking for? When it came to Tua, Herbie, he wanted to prove a point. He wanted to show Tua, everybody done heard and read the article about him showing Tua 600 plays, 700 plays, saying, yeah, you don't suck, blah, 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 boosting his confidence, whatever. He put so much into trying to show that Tua could be a franchise quarterback. He's part of the reason Tua got the contract. But he didn't think about the football aspect of it, Herbie. Had Mike McDaniel done what his other guys did, the other members of his family, and by family, I mean, you look at Kyle Shanahan and Herbie, do you think he's coming up with complex offensive schemes every year in the passing game? No, he just knows to run the football. You think Sean McVay is coming up with super complex schemes? No, he just knows to run the football. Matt LaFleur, he knew when he lost Aaron Jones, you know what he did? He got Josh Jacobs. These guys understand that the fundamentally how to run the West Coast offense, their version of it, the Shanahan offense, you need to establish the run. And with a quarterback like Tua, that's what you had to do, and you didn't do it. So, Herbie, my second disappointment is we wasted Tyreek because the coach who was supposed to actually have the keys to the safe that had the treasure plans couldn't figure it out. And last but not least, Herbie, of what went wrong this season for me, of course it had to be Tua. Herbie, we came into the season. I was talking big boy shit. I was talking big, Herbie. I said, hey, Tua, we've never had a losing record with Tua as a starter, which was true. You look at all his records when he played from 2020 all the way to last season, Herbie, and when Tua played, we never had a losing season. I said, we're going to win at least 10 games. We'll win 10 games. What did we do, Herbie? Tua looked about as terrible as we've ever seen him look, Herbie. And I'm not trying to be unfair to the guy. But, Herbie, when you throw 15 interceptions and all of them are against zone coverage, when we see that you don't have the power to throw anymore, when we see you don't have the mental, Herbie, you can't be a 6-year quarterback and you're making crazy reads, Herbie. I'm watching a guy like Drake Maye who understands he needs to either escape the pocket or throw the ball away. I'm watching guys like Bo Nix do this, and these are second-year quarterbacks. Tua, you're in your 6th season, and you see a bad play design, and oh, well, I guess I just got to throw it to somebody because it's throw it away. Like, Herbie, it was so frustrating to watch Tua play this season, and the biggest complaint always was the O-line, the O-line, the O-line, the O-line. Bro, there were plenty of times. If you look at Tua's interceptions this season, Herbie, how many of his interceptions was he just breezy, beautiful, nigga? Like, this dude's just sitting back there patting the rock. Oh, a pick. Like, I went back and watched all his interceptions, Herbie, just to see for myself. So, Herbie, when it comes to what went wrong, Herbie, the slow starts in various aspects of the team, the Tyreek era came to a miserable end because he's probably not coming back, right? And then Tua, Herbie. Tua, who's supposed to be the franchise quarterback, the $53 million quarterback, Herbie, is what went wrong.
Rod. Shout out to JPS. Someone get a towel. Rod, I was going to say the same thing. You sure you even got enough energy to talk about the best of? I should have saved that for the end. I didn't know you was coming like that. God damn.
Hey, listen, Herbie. Hey, hold on. Y'all give me a second. I forgot to turn the AC on in the stew. That's why
Round of applause for Rod going nuts. So, Rod, man. Round of applause, man. Rod, if the Miami Dolphins had the energy that you just displayed, bro, guys would have went undefeated, dog. Like that's the level of passion, that's the level of integrity, that's the level of want that the Miami Dolphins just lacked in so many occasions. I don't even want to talk about the part. Where how do we even talk about the positives after that?
I'm sorry, bro. I just felt, and Herbie, bro, I've been stewing in this, bro. I've been stewing in this for 17 games, 18 weeks, bro. I've been stewing in this, dog. That's why.
All right.
That's why McDaniel got to go. McDaniel has to go, man. He can't
Oh
stay.
my
He
god,
can't
bro.
stay, bro. He got
Oh my
to go.
god.
He got to
All
go.
right, there's no way to even try to match that with the best of. So let's just blitz through your best of 2020-25. who, who who made the best of 2025 list for your Miami Dolphins this season, Rod?
I'm gonna run through this, Herbie. But and for my Dolphin fans out there, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of fans who may not agree with this list, guys. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I wasn't sure. Like it was easy to come up with a disappointing. I could have came up with three more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you
But
could have went on and on and on. It was a
for the
very disappointing team.
for the surprises, this is what I was able to muster up, Herbie. Our crock, and I'm just gonna read them off what I wrote. Fuck it.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Our crockpot gumbo and jambalaya secondary wasn't so bad. And the reason why I say this, Herbie, is because when you consider how bad the front seven was to start the season,
Right.
in the games where our pass rush could get pressure, our corners, our secondary wasn't that bad. Minka Fitzpatrick was JPS. You're a funny guy. Minka Minka Fitzpatrick was he made plays this season. Guys like Melfonwu, young players like Jason Marshall kind of stepped up. Rasul Douglas was one of our best cornerbacks this season. I'm not saying we have the secret sauce to a great secondary, Herbie, but the fact that we had this mismatched group of guys and they actually were not the weakness of our defense most of the season, I thought that was impressive. The second surprise of the season that I liked, Herbie, the rookies eventually came on strong, and some of these guys were surprising from the start. I liked Ollie Gordon from the beginning. Shout out to Ryder McConville, who does great Dolphins film videos for our team. If you do not know, if you're a Dolphin fan and you don't know Ryder, look him up right now. He does great film breakdowns. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have known about Jordan Phillips, right? And Jordan Phillips has been a blessing to the Dolphins defensive line. And he's a fifth round pick, right? Like the Dolphins rookies, especially our later round picks, they actually came on stronger early on than some of our earlier picks. Now, Jonas Savonea, he improved as the season went on. A guy like Cole Strange, who got played, improved as the season went on. Kenneth Grant, who kind of seemed lost in the system to start the season, has become a big boy playing big boy D line ball this season. So shout out to and that was part of the reason of the defensive turnaround was a guy like Kenneth Grant coming on, them using Jordan Phillips more, them using a guy like Zeke Biggers. So shout out to the rookies for really coming on strong as the season went on. And the final surprise I had, Herbie, and I don't even know how to feel about this one. If y'all feel like I'm talking out of my ass on this one, go ahead, call me. I don't care. I just put that the O-line fared better than I thought. And the reason why I say that is because consider the fact that Devon Achane finished as one of the best running backs this season. And he did a lot of work, but they created holes for Achane. And if you ask me honestly, I wasn't as attentive to film this season as I had been in previous years just because of how disappointing it was. But I really didn't think our offensive line was as bad as it has been in years past. There's no perfect offensive line. A quarterback is going to deal with pressure. Like you can't keep a guy clean every single play. It's just not going to happen unless you have an O-line like Phillies and they don't get hurt like they happened for them last year. You see what happened now. Jalen Hurts can't even complete passes in the second half, right? Because he doesn't have that O-line. So just looking at the way the O-line played, everybody wanted, for the people who are apologists for Tua still, why I don't know, at the end of the day, they want to say the O-line, the O-line. The O-line isn't the greatest. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It's not like we had the Raiders' offensive line. There are other teams that have offensive lines worth crying about. We have a Pro Bowl running back who, in large part, was able to run through some nice holes, and I give the O-line at least props for that. That's what didn't go wrong, I guess, Herbie.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's a good list because again, man, we try. A lot of people have been telling us, man, we're too pessimistic. So we try to finish on a light note. But how light of a note can you finish when your team sucks this bad, bro? Like, there's not too many things to highlight.
Nah,
But
man,
I gotta highlight the homie Rashad, man. Rashad said I was talking big boy shit about Penix before this season. It's not you. These QBs be lying, bro. Why you always lying? That's right, Shad. They just be capping,
and
bro.
you know what, Rashad? You know what's crazy? We was capping for him too.
We was capping
I
for him
was
too,
capping for
man.
him, man.
We was capping for him too, man. So how about this? Let's go ahead and move the show along. And in the sentiment of thinking of the most disappointing, the worst of the year, best of the year, biggest surprises. So I want to go ahead and make this macro. Let's talk about this around the entire league, right? I have a list, and you got a couple of guys that you wanted to highlight as well. That is just the biggest disappointments, major disappointments of the NFL season, not just limited to the Miami Dolphins. There's going to be some guys that we forget about. There's going to be some guys like Rashad that are fans of teams. He probably got a bunch of Falcon players that he could add to this list. But if we miss guys that you put in the chat who y'all think, because obviously we see things different. Put it in the comments. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you go ahead and pump this up too. But yeah, man. So how you want to do this, Rod? You want to blitz through your list, or you want to go back and forth?
We can go back and forth, man. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Okay, so let me go ahead. We'll start with the disappointments. So I'm gonna go ahead because I want to finish with my best stuff, my biggest surprises, because I have a lot of context to add to them. So let's get the biggest disappointments out the way. Biggest disappointment for me, and we were supposed to do 3, you feel me? But there's so many bums this season, bro. I couldn't just have it at 3 people, dog. Coming in number 4, man. Washington Bumskins, man, a.k.a. the Washington Commanders, dog. We said it coming into this season. We have the video proof. You don't get a good team by paying for a bunch of old dudes. We said it. We saw who they were spending money on, and we were like, nah, that don't make sense. Why are you getting piano on my back, Debo Samuel? Why are you getting old-ass Bobby Wagner? Why are you getting Marshawn Lattimore who can't cover a cold anymore, bro? Like, I get it. The pressure to invest in a team because you have a rookie quarterback that went to the NFC Championship his first year out, you're going to spend. You think you're closer than you are. And we seen it blow up in their face, man. Number 4, this one really broke my heart, dog.
Number 3.
I was doing tricks on it, Rod. I was doing tricks. I was doing mini tricks. Number 1, I was boop, boop, boop. I was popping it. But for this dude, I was doing tricks on it, man. Brian Thomas Jr., bro. Oh my effing God.
Ooh.
We're talking about somebody who was not minimum number 10 in any top 10 wide receiver conversations going into 2025. You couldn't find a single list that had a top 10 wide receiver list projected that didn't have Brian Thomas in it. We're talking about some guy who the second year with Mac Jones looked like a top 3 wide receiver. And then he fell off the effing map, man. Number 3, J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. McCarthy, I want to shoot the guy bail because this is his first time starting. But the reason why he's such a major disappointment is because who he replaced and what he did to the team. The Minnesota Vikings had a professional, playoff-ready team. All they needed was adequate quarterback play. He is the first person to do the unthinkable, something that has never been done before. He made Justin Jefferson look like a fucking scrub. Justin Jefferson was quarterback proof before he met the powers of J.J. McCarthy, bro. Yeah, Justin Jefferson was quarterback proof. The unmovable object versus the unstoppable force. The unstoppable force that is J.J. McCarthy's shitty quarterback play won that battle. Number 2, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a major disappointment, and they really shouldn't be this disappointing. But because of who they are, because of what they stood for, and because nobody expected the Chiefs to not make the playoffs, that was just not finna happen. Rod, I apologize. Wasn't you supposed to have the Chiefs? My bad. I just looking at my list.
No, you're good. No.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so Chiefs, this is a true dynasty, and they just fell off the map. Like, when you see what happened to the Chiefs, it makes you appreciate what the Patriots did more. As annoying as that sounds, as annoying as that may be, It is hard to have sustained excellence for that many years, and it bottomed out like just completely fell apart. They lost to the freaking Raiders today. Now, granted, they probably did it for draft position, but the fact that they are in a position to where they're throwing a game against the Las Vegas Raiders to get a better draft position tells you where they are and how much of a disaster it was this season. But number one, hands down, unquestionably, the biggest disappointment and probably the biggest egg on my face that I have ever had to endure, the 2025 Geno Smith experience. Oh my God. Rod, you want to talk about glaze? I'm talking Dunkin' Donuts. I'm talking 2J's Bagels. I'm talking Krispy Kreme with the hot sign on. That's the level of glaze I was doing for Geno Smith and the Pete Carroll Raiders. When I tell you guys, I was not everybody, every time when you do this long enough, there's a guy that you hitch your effing wagon to because you want to be right. You want to be the guy. You want to be the I know ball guy. Dog. Geno was my guy. It was me and Geno. We was like stepbrothers, bro. I was Will Ferrell, dog. He was John C. Riley, bro. We was supposed to take over. Only thing that nigga took over was turnovers, man. God damn, man. Geno Smith, man. Biggest disappointment for Herb going into 2025, man.
Man, you
Just for
crazy.
reference, I had Geno on my list too, man. How many? Yeah, 17 picks.
He had 17 picks. And you know what's crazy? Sam Darnold led the league of turnovers, bro. Strange but true. Rob, who you got for your biggest disappointment, man?
Woo! All right, so for my biggest disappointment of the season, I'm going to start with one that might not sound like a disappointment, but you'll see where I'm coming from once I explain it. First disappointment I have is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I thought of them like when I was on the ride here because I didn't want to do Geno because you had Geno too. Herbie, I just put the Cincinnati Bengals because Herbie, think about this, and this is like big picture. Think
Yeah.
about what they've had. They have a guy in Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase, who you could argue has been the best receiver in football. And then you have T. Higgins, who has been a top 10, like what is he, a top 10, top 15 receiver? Easily, I mean, are they the best wide receiver duo? You add any other third guy and they'll be good, whether it's Mike Gesicki, whether it's whoever, right? And I thought about it to myself. I said, man, the Bengals have had what, 8 years, 6 years of Joe Burrow, and what did they have? What did they have to show for all of that? Considering how
Nothing.
great
Another year where they don't make the playoffs.
another year they don't make the playoffs, and another year where their defense it just doesn't give them any chance. When the guy played every game last year, when these guys
I
played,
mean, we can't say that, bro, because the second half of this season, the Bengals have played actually a lot better defense. Dude, they lost 20-18 today. That ain't on your defense, dog. Like, that's not your defense.
to the
Like,
Browns.
if to the effing Browns.
So I had to start with them, bro, because obviously, when he got hurt early in the season, Bill's entire defense besides Greg Rousseau. Oh, we're gonna get to them. But look, for my other disappointments, my next disappointment, Herbie, I gotta go with the Bucks. And the reason why I put the Bucks, Herbie, is before the season started, we kind of had them pegged to be the de facto winner of the division, just because we hadn't seen. The Falcons are still young roster figuring things out. The Panthers, we didn't really believe in Bryce Young at the time. We weren't sure about him. He obviously proved to still be the same guy, but their roster is better than we thought. And then obviously, you look at the what was the other team in the division that they have? Oh, the Saints, who they actually I think they probably have the one of the brightest futures, right?
Yeah,
Considering
for
how
sure.
good Tyler Shough has looked. But Herbie, I mean Herbie, I put the Bucks on this list simply because of how they lost the division. Herbie, how the hell do you win the game that you're supposed to win and you lose because another 8-9 team in your division beats another team in your division? And all three of y'all finish 8-9 and you're the one who doesn't get in? I gotta put you as a disappointment. What? What do you mean you're in the worst division in football? Literally a division where every team finished under 500. Three teams finished 8-9, Herbie. Three teams, and you couldn't be the one that got through.
It's
You actually
insane.
did what you were supposed to do. which is
It's
win the
insane.
game.
It's truly insane how
Oh,
mediocre, how long the Saints, the NFC South has been mediocre, bro. Like it's
unbelievable. It's like
insane.
Drew
It's
Brees
pretty
and Matt
incredible.
Ryan and those guys left, and it was done.
Yeah,
Like
it's pretty crazy.
Cam
It's
Newton,
pretty
like
crazy.
Herbie, this was a division that had Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
competing.
when they were beating each other up, is because of excellent play. And that's not the case anymore. All
Wow.
right, let's run through
and my
the rest of the list. Yeah.
My last disappointment, just this last one, the Lions, Herbie. Now all I'm gonna say for the Lions is this. When I started the season, I'm sure Lions fans thought I was crazy. The Lions fans who listen. I said I thought the Lions would kind of take a step back, losing Ben Johnson, losing some of the offensive linemen. And it turned out to be true, Herbie. The Lions, they just didn't have the same. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say they didn't have the same aura, but they just didn't have the same bravado as they did in previous years. And I think Ben Johnson meant a lot more to that organization than they realized, right? Not taking anything away from Dan the Man Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. Probably my favorite interim coach ever. Something only a fan of a team like the Dolphins can say, right? But considering the window that we thought the Lions had, considering how good they had been, considering what Dan Campbell had built up to, for me, one of the biggest disappointments in 2025.
I feel you, dog, and let's go ahead and get into the biggest surprises, right? Because it's always a yin and a yang. You got the biggest disappointments and you got the biggest surprises, dog. But sometimes you want to go ahead and get to the fuck, the hell. Not again, bruh. Not again. not again.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Come on.
Bills fans appear.
How do you keep doing this? How do you keep infiltrating a Miami Dolphins podcast on YouTube? Get your Bills crap out of here. What are you doing here? I thought we banned you.
Hit me up earlier in the week. What do you mean?
I thought we banned you from this podcast, from this everything. Do you have a back channel? How do you get on here? Welcome everybody, man. This week's guest, man, JPS is in the effing building. JPS, man. Oh, welcome.
What's good?
So, we are talking about the biggest disappointments and the biggest surprises. And the reason why I wanted to bring you in for the surprises portion is because it's going to lead us into something that you have been arguing. My number one surprise is a person that you hate. My number one surprise is a person that you despise. My number one surprise of the year is a person that you have been arguing with me back and forth, tooth and goddamn nail. So, let's go ahead and get into that so we can have that discussion before we go ahead and talk about your Buffalo Bills. Fifth seed Buffalo
You're
Bills.
You're a Dallas fan, bro.
Don't worry about nothing, bro. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins right now, all right? This is a Dolphins podcast,
you can
all right?
talk about them. Talk about your second team.
We don't listen. There's only so much mediocrity that we can have on this podcast. Do not bring up the Dallas Cowboys, man. So, the biggest surprises for me, and I'm not going to go ahead and get too long on everything. I want to go ahead because there's two that I really want to really focus in on because I think people will really, really enjoy the conversation. And just because I did a bunch of research on it and I just found some mind-blowing things, which is why they made my list in general, right? So number 4 for me, Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson. Neither here, neither be said. Coming into the season, they were set at 8.5 wins. They got over that. Most odd makers had them not winning the division, them not even winning 8 games, and they did. They're way ahead of schedule, man. But number 3 for me, Tyler Shough. They lost to the Falcons today, but to see who Tyler Shough was supposed to be based off of his pre-draft profile, based off of how he was viewed, based off of the way people were talking about him, and who he ultimately, especially in training camp. We got to own that too. We was giving him hell. We was getting our jokes off for sure. But I'm just going to go ahead and read.
He was showing off.
I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the things that was said about Tyler Shough, and which is why he made this list, because this is to go from what they said into who he ultimately is going to be, which is the rookie of the year. Got to be a surprise, right? This is some pre-draft profiles of him. This is from Bleacher Report. High-level backup, potential starter, 3rd round. This is from CBS. Number 8 QB. They had him as their number 8 QB. Overall, 117th on their big board. NFL comparison, Nick Foles. And this is from PFF, something that we hold near and dear, something that we always use and we appreciate what they have to offer. Shough could have himself a nice career in the NFL as a decent spot starter or preferred backup. All he has gone to do is potentially be the best quarterback in this draft based off of what he's done in these 8 games that he started. Got to be a surprise. My number 2, man, Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Amazing.
Amazing, but you don't realize how amazing he has been until you really do the nitty gritty and you really dig into his season. His season is on par with the 2023 Tyreek Hill season before Tua got hurt and that he had to play with backups, and the Calvin Johnson 2,000-yard season. If you look at what Jaxon Smith-Njigba did with yards per route run, basically it's how many yards you're getting on how many routes you're running. Like, for as great as Calvin Johnson was and how amazing his 2,000-yard season was, he ran a lot of routes. He didn't even set the record for that, yards per route run. That was set in 2008 with Steve Smith at 3.87. The next closest was Tyreek Hill at 3.82. At one point, Tyreek Hill was at 5 yards, which is crazy. Tyreek was on base for like 23 yards, but that's neither here nor there. Jaxon Smith-Njigba finished the season with yards per route run at 4.37. That is insane.
Dro, what's up, Dro?
That's nuts. That is nuts. So let's just talk about him in what's it called? He had 1,000 yards on only 226 routes this season, making it the fastest for 1,000 yards since 2014. He had led the league in yards per route run against man coverage at 4.37. He led the league at yards per route run on play actions at 6.3. That means every time you did a play action, every 2 passes, it was a first down with this guy. He was just amazing. But the number 1 surprise has to be, to your dismay, JPS, it got to be Drake Maye. It has to be Drake Maye. We're talking about a guy who went from a 4-13 Patriots on an awful team where he was questioned, his accuracy was questioned, where people didn't think that he was actually going to amount to anything based off his rookie season, where people coming into this season in training camp, they were saying that he wasn't even really looking that much better than who was the backup, the black that they sent to the Cowboys, the backup quarterback.
Milton.
Yeah, they were saying he wasn't even looking better than Milton all that much. It was real.
That's insane. That's insane talk, though.
I'm just talking
all too
about
much.
what happened in preseason. Trust me, I was a guy who was following the Patriots. I read all. I was watching. I watched every preseason report. It was a battle, which is why they shipped him off, because people were saying, "Hey, Drake Maye." Patriot fans were saying, "Hey, Drake Maye ain't good. I'd rather have Milton." They had to get rid of Milton because they didn't want the pressure of that him backing him up, because that is what was happening. And all this dude has done is potentially go from that to being the league MVP. And some of the stats that I want to go ahead and get out there. Number 1 in completion percentage, led the league. Number 1 in completion percentage over expectation. Number 1 in QBR. Number 4 in third in big time throws. And this is the big one. He led all quarterbacks in EPA. I don't know what y'all want from this man. Like, just go about this, right? His preseason odds to be the MVP, he was plus 5,000. If you put $100 on Drake Maye winning the MVP going into the season, you'd have $5,000. That went from 5,000 plus 5,000 to negative 400. If that ain't the biggest surprise, then I don't know what is, man. So, JP, you vehemently disagree.
Oh, well, you were talking EPA there for a second. How about in the games against winning teams? How was his EPA
Oh
then?
my God, are we
Because
really
it dropped
doing
to pretty
this?
mid against the Bills. It dropped
You
below
guys
80,
are 1 and
so.
1. It's like you, the way you're talking, you would have thought that y'all beat
No,
them
no,
twice.
listen,
You
listen.
split. You literally spit.
All that preseason stuff that people were saying, that's crazy talk. And then on top of that, I'm not surprised that he got good. You know, he was training with Josh Allen on the offseason before training camp even started for the Patriots. So, I expected him to get better. It was only a matter of time. The Patriots usually and Vrabel was, that's the coach of the year in my opinion. So I think
I'm surprised. I'm
What about
surprised that
Jaxon?
you.
I don't know. I think
what'd
that.
you say? I couldn't hear you.
It got to me. Coach of the year is
Ben Johnson.
not Ben Johnson. It
No,
was Ben Johnson.
I was
But
wondering who you were gonna say.
What Kyle is doing with the 49ers? Yeah, I know they lost on Saturday, bro, but he doesn't have a team. Fred Warner's gone. Nick Bosa's gone. George Kittle is running on tendonism, bro. Meat falling
I
off
don't
the
know. If you got
bone, bro.
CMC,
Like,
you always got a team though. I don't know
I
about
mean,
that.
that's one man, bro. That's one man, bro. But how do you feel about the list, though? How do you feel about all the lists? Just what's your overall input before we get into some Bills talk?
It seemed pretty good to me. I mean, it seemed pretty accurate. The only thing that I have to critique is your number one, and I'm not even hating that bad. I think that Drake May had the second easiest schedule in the league. Not his fault. He did what was expected, But at the same time, if you look at Mitch Trubisky's numbers today against the Jets, him and Drake May look very similar. You know,
All right, so let's bring it back to this comment earlier. This guy was talking about the Patriots and the MVP odds. So you, JPS, you have it in your personal book. Who do you have?
Mm.
You have Matt Stafford, Josh Allen. Who's your number three, or you just have two and everybody else?
I don't even, I don't even think I could put Josh Allen on the list right now, just because, the Bills defense has been. I mean, he still puts up 30+ points a game. But the Bills defense has been that bad, and they've that last game against Philly kind of was that duck pass for the 2 point conversion. I liked it. We
That
probably
was
shouldn't have
that.
been
That was
playing
nasty.
anyways.
That was
I
nasty.
got my whole.
That
Well, go
was for the
ahead.
division, dog. That was for the division, dog.
Oh, I knew we weren't winning the division. Come on, man. The Patriots were going up against the Jets, and then Quinn Ewers on the Dolphins. What are we doing here? You were going to pretend that the Jets weren't going to lose. We're going to lose one of those games. Get out of here. Come on. The hell are we talking about here?
Oh, before I forget, because I don't think we'll get a chance to get to this, and JPS, you'll get a kick out of this for sure. Because of course, every AFC East fan hates the Jets. Herbie, how about the Jets?
Yeah,
Are the only team in NFL
Big
history
old
history.
goose egg.
to have zero interceptions as
And
a
their head
team,
coach and their
and
head
they got
That's
an
coach
extra
crazy.
game.
Their head coach is a famous DB. Aaron Glenn is a legendary DB.
Insane stat.
This is insane.
Unbelievable, bro. Only
That is
the
truly
Jets.
unbelievable. That is
Only the
truly
Jets. With a
unbelievable, man.
defensive-minded head coach, only the Jets.
Which
All
is
right,
crazy
man.
because over the course of like the last decade, they always have a top five defense.
Right.
And then this year, it's like, what happened, bro?
That's usually what
You know what
happens,
happened?
man.
They got rid of Salah. They got rid of him. They should have never did it.
But that's life, right? But nah, that is crazy. Like you luck into a
Bro,
pick,
you mean
right?
you mean a wide receiver didn't slap his hands together and the ball didn't pop into somebody's hands? I literally witnessed that in the game, I think, yesterday. Like, are you serious, bro?
You luck into it, man. So, all right, let's move the conversation over. Let's get into some Bills talk. We do have a Bills super fan. We see you repping your set. Hey fam, hold on. I'm just not looking. Is that an OJ Simpson jersey you got on, dog?
No,
Throwback, dog.
no, that's bro.
Oh,
This is
boy,
23.
I
It's
thought that was
Marshawn.
32. I was about to
Nah,
say, bro, you
I do.
wildin'.
I
You
do have
wildin'.
one, but that one doesn't leave the box up in New York. That
Yeah,
one's up
yeah, leave
in
that up there,
that
bro.
one's
No
up in
disrespect, but
Buffalo.
that would have been crazy. I would have been like, yikes. You feel me? All right,
You
so
know,
let's go ahead and start the conversation. We'll get some bills. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a little bit of an icebreaker. We're gonna go ahead and extend a AFC East rival olive branch, right? So we're gonna start off, light before we start grilling you with the real questions. All right. So we have some
I have a
trivia.
feeling it's not going to be that light, but let's go.
Oh no, the trivia is easy. The other stuff is particularly the conversation about Josh Allen. It might get a little spicy, might get a little hectic. All right, so here we go. These are Bills centric trivia questions.
Okay.
Very easy. If you are the fan that you believe yourself to be, you should ace this test, man. First question: How many Bills did the Buffalo Bills? How many Super Bowls did the Buffalo Bills appear during the 1990s? Easy, man. We throwing softballs, baby.
Man,
If you're only talking the '90s, it would be
90s,
two,
just the 90s.
two.
Two. Correct, because it is from 88 to 92, man. See? You see? Next question. What year did Josh Allen get drafted?
2017.
This
Or no.
nigga
Yeah.
ain't no fan, man. It's 2018, man.
18, my bad.
2017.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
2017 is
I said wait. I
is
had
the
it right. I was
Mahomes
like, man,
draft,
I knew
man.
it.
Oh,
That was
if you
wrong.
missing that
Yeah,
one,
you're right.
ooh, it might
No,
get.
that bro, you tried to trick me with the
I didn't try to trick you. That was a softball. What do you
yeah,
mean?
Come on, JP,
bro, the
tighten
how
up.
many in the
Tighten up.
90s? Like anybody else is gonna say 4.
Yeah. All right. Who was the starting quarterback before Josh Allen?
Tyrod.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
Or Nathan Peterman if you count his
Ugh.
There,
starts.
yeah,
You have nightmares of
yeah.
that guy.
All right. In which year was Jim Kelly drafted? This is come
I can
on,
help you
dog.
out, but I ain't gonna do that.
This
He came out when my guy came out, so
this is a super softball, fam.
I don't know.
Elway, Marino.
The greatest QB draft of all time. It's synonymous.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming obviously it's the same as the other ones, but I don't even think I know when Dan Marino or Elway were drafted. So I'm just
Jesus.
sitting here like,
Yikes.
83, my
Yikes.
boy. I
I'm
got
drawing a
you.
blank on that one. I
Yikes.
don't know.
Man. 1983.
Yikes.
80. What do you
Yikes.
say? 80 what?
83.
1983,
Okay.
man.
83 draft, man.
Yeah, man, good for
All
them.
right, now it's a little bit harder. Okay,
I
who
wasn't
was the
born then, so I don't, I know a lot of the shit, but like, come on. You ask me where he went to college, I'll tell you, but what year he was drafted, I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Oh,
All right, man. Who was the quarterback that led the Bills in the biggest comeback in NFL history? You got to know this, fam. Don't do this to me,
Biggest
dog.
comeback in NFL history.
Yes, your quarterback, a quarterback on your team for your favorite team.
It's not Josh?
No,
No,
it's not
no.
Josh.
the Oilers, man. Come on, bro. You don't remember that game?
Hey, bro, we bigger Bills fans than this dude, man. You an imposter. You're a big fat
Get out of
phony.
here.
He's a
You're a big
phony.
fat phony.
I
Phony.
was gonna say it has to, it's either fucking if it's not Josh, it's gotta be either Drew Bledsoe or Jim Kelly.
Well, how about
No,
Bill
it's
Cosby?
Frank Reich, man. Frank
Oh
Reich,
shit,
man.
yeah, no, you're right. I didn't even think about Frank.
I'm
Damn.
not even gonna ask this one. This one is actually hard. I'm not even gonna waste your time. The last one. I'm gonna just tell you who was the Bills sack leader in 2021 with a grand total of 7. You don't know that. You're not gonna
Jerry
know that.
Hughes.
Nah, man. Mario Addison. I didn't even know who the hell
Oh,
Mario Addison
Addison.
was. Yeah. So
True.
there we go. All right. That was actually. I'm very disappointed in you.
Oh my god,
I'm not gonna hold you.
because I didn't know the
I'm like, that was
quarterback who
supposed to
was
be the easy
around way
shit.
before me.
That was
Who would
supposed
have
to
known
be
that? My
that was
uncle.
supposed to be the easy shit. All right, let's get into the real questions
Hey,
though, man. So
Herbie, hold on. Shout out to Gary, the Miami Guppies. Yeah, Guppy. Hey, what's your team, Gary? Let me know.
Guppy's good.
let's go ahead and give a
Yeah, heard that.
sad trumpet for your boy Gary, man. So let's get into the real questions, man. So I got a couple questions that I wanted to ask you, JPS, and this is just some big picture stuff. It's centered around the narrative going in with the Bills that there might be a shift change, there might be a seat change in the AFC East, and there might be a potential setback or closing of a potential Super Bowl window with this iteration of the Buffalo Bills, man. So let's get it right into it, man. JPS, John Paul, who's the most to blame for the Bills taking a step back this season, in your opinion?
I'm gonna say Bobby Babbage, number one. Number two, Sean McDermott.
Elaborate.
Number three, Joe Brady. Well, Bobby Babbage is just a recycled version of Leslie Frazier who came before him. Defense is outdated. It's just soft zone defense. They get mollywopped by any team. Their run defense is always piss poor. Half the season, their pass defense is also piss poor. They're allowing. I mean, I think they're allowing 28 points a game, and Josh is averaging like 30 points a game before maybe this week or last week.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy. Like the defense couldn't stop anything. It can't. It just doesn't work. I don't
This
know.
is
So
the
that's
worst
my
I've
number
seen
one.
you guys' defense look, honestly, in a while, too. Because usually the
Yeah.
defense is decent under McDermott.
Yeah, I don't. I know a lot of them aged. Like Jordan Poyer's still there, but he didn't play today. He's always injured. I mean, he keeps coming back from retirement. There's a few of them. They just aged out, I guess. But the pass rush has been looking weak this year. Mine, like I said, Greg Rousseau is probably the only highlight on the defense I see right now. Maxwell Hairston just took an injury today, so now I'm worried about that going in against the Jags. I'm like, ugh, how much work? I don't even know why we played him today. It was crazy to me. I just didn't get it, and that's why I say McDermott second, because what do we
Okay,
do?
so I was gonna ask you. Actually, that was gonna be my next question. Not to cut.
Yeah,
Sorry to cut you off, but
no,
the
no,
next
go.
question I was gonna ask was what is your opinion of Sean McDermott? Sean McDermott through 9 seasons. You've had this guy for 9 seasons. Like that is a long time to be with the head coach who has not made a Super Bowl. So, Bills fan, just give me your opinion and then the opinion of the fandom, because I know you're probably on Reddits and forums and stuff like that. What is the overall post that the Bills community has towards Sean McDermott?
You know, it depends what fans you talk to. A lot of them are already, Bills fans. They're always pessimistic because we've never won one. So of course they're always like, "Oh, fire the coach, fire the coach." But those are just the casuals, in my opinion. And my thing about Sean McDermott this year in particular is that you're getting worse. Your records are getting worse going into the playoffs. You're losing more games that you shouldn't be losing. You're losing more divisional games that you shouldn't be losing. Your defense has gotten worse. Your offense has gotten worse. That's also a Brandon Bean GM issue. But when I start to see your numbers going down, that means it's getting close to time to make a change. And I know that there was some. I don't understand the first round or the first round Keon Coleman draft pick. I don't really understand that. Dude can't get separation, and then they sit him as a healthy scratch multiple times this
Yeah,
season.
yeah, that's
Don't
nasty.
re- don't really
Nasty.
get it. I mean, it's just stupid little things. So
So that's actually what was going to be one of my next questions. Why do you guys suck? Like, and I mean legitimately suck when it comes to getting wide receivers during this Josh Allen era. Like, you guys, like the Bills are known for having quality wide receivers throughout their entire history. Andre
you,
Reed, Stevie Johnson, like you guys have a good history of wide receivers until you have an all-time quarterback, and you're like, we'll get by with Gabe Davis.
it's
That's what
what
we doing.
it's wild. It's wild. And first of all, the hatred of Gabe Davis will not be tolerated because that
No,
guy
I'm not.
he
No,
dropped a few
he's
passes in the past that were big
Gabe
passes.
Davis
I
is
get it. He's still a
Gabe
good
Davis
receiver,
is awesome. This is not
but
about Gabe
yeah,
Davis.
yeah.
I'm not trying to
Here's why.
dash him. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that in past years, the Bills they always had a little quick receiver, at least in the Josh Allen era.
You're right.
Stevie Johnson was also little and quick, but not like a Stephon. I think Stephon Diggs is probably littler than Stevie Johnson, but they always have a short, quick guy. They've been trying to get the big, tall guy that Josh can just toss one up in the air and he'll go get it. They tried it with who was it, Kelvin Benjamin a while back, who was a Bills player for like what 3 weeks before he retired
I
midseason.
forgot about that.
So I think they went after Keon, and I think Josh probably was like, I want a big tall boy. We're expecting that Khalil Shakir is going to be our what was the dude that came from our Cole Beasley
Mm-hmm.
type character.
Yeah.
And we were expecting some of these other guys, like maybe Miko Hardman. Like we didn't have a true wide receiver one this year. I think they were expecting people to step up, and that just hasn't happened yet. So
Damn, did
Yeah.
y'all have Amari Cooper? Oh no, you traded him, right?
I think he retired after the last
Oh,
season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, he
when
retired.
he
He
came over
retired
there,
right before going into training
he was
camp.
cooked.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
cooked, huh?
he was cooked. He was cooked. Baked chicken. Baked chicken alert. He was in the oven. He could put 5 forks in him, man. He was done. He was done physically and mentally, dog. Like he was like,
I mean,
Feeding
I'll
he
his
go
had
back to
one of the
family, bro.
best
Miami.
play.
Feeding his
He had
family.
one. He helped Josh with one of the best plays of last season, though. So I don't
Yeah, but
know.
then what happens when it goes, it goes,
He
right?
wasted his whole career with Dallas and Oakland. So
I mean, who was the guy who said I'd rather retire than go play for Buffalo? Who was it, dog? It was somebody that they were trying to trade, bro, and I guess he didn't want to go to Buffalo. It was some. It's neither here nor there. I can't remember. It was a quarterback this year that was supposed to get traded, but a wide receiver. I'm sorry, but neither there. Let's get back to the questions. You keep bringing up the fact that Josh Allen has to score 30 points, right? And this is something that I specifically wanted to ask you.
mhm.
Do you think it's sustainable? And the answer is no, but I want to get your opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think it's sustainable for Josh Allen to play hero ball for 17 games a season and a potential 18 games
No,
if we got 18 games? Go
No,
ahead.
absolutely not. I mean, you can't. One guy doesn't make a team. You know what I mean? Two guys don't make a team. We got James Cook. Josh Allen is the rushing leader of our football team right now in terms of touchdowns. And that tells me something's fundamentally wrong when
Yeah.
most of the the most touchdowns are Josh Allen, then James Cook, and then after that, everybody else is in the single digits still. What the hell's going on? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty rough.
Nicole Hardman wasn't even in for a full game before he got injured, dropped, and then repicked back up on waivers. Then you got Terrell Shavers, who kind of mid, drops a lot of big passes. They brought Gabe Davis back, and he's been kind of quiet. They kind of they call him a healthy scratch too, but I'm like I don't get it. At least Josh has a chemistry with Gabe Davis. I think he should have started more, but you got Keon Coleman who can't get separation. Although when they were all talking that shit and he was the healthy scratch, the very next game he came back, he scored a touchdown. So take that what it is. I mean, if he can't get separation down the field because he's slow, whatever, but if he can at least score the touchdowns when we're in the red zone, I'll be
Yeah,
fine with him.
that's one of the things where it's like, and it sucks because you have a football team and there's standards to uphold, especially a team like the
Hmm.
Bills, where it seems like they hold each other accountable. Because based off of how the players acted, it felt like it was a player decision to make him a healthy scratch. Problem is, you might need him out there because you don't have anybody else.
Jack,
Dude,
So it's like,
trust me. If it
Jack,
were up to
man,
me,
nothing.
we if it were up to me, we would have lost that Eagles game. We wouldn't have even played Josh, and then we would have lost this game too. We were already had the division clinched. We knew we weren't going to win against the Patriots. The
yeah,
Patriots were going to take the AFC East. Just take the 7th seed and play the Patriots in the first round, for God's sake. What the hell are we
right,
doing here? Now
right.
we got to go into Jacksonville. And again, I just told you that our cornerback there, our number one healthy young quarterback or cornerback, just got injured today when we were up 35-0 against the Jets.
Yeah,
So what
that's
the hell is
rough.
he even still doing in the game? Why is Dalton Kincaid still in the game? And this is
They
coaching
actually got
error.
the Bills. They got the Bills minus 1.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the road, man, on the road.
Bro.
So this is the last question that I want to ask, and it's going to lead to the bigger form discussion that we can have. And it may get contentious between me, you, and Rod. It may not. You feel me?
Mm.
But it's a
Yep.
question that needs to be asked. What does this mean for Josh Allen's legacy if he does not make the Super Bowl this year?
Same as it did for Dan Marino or Jim Kelly. You Josh Allen's breaking every record in the book right now in terms of passing Cam Newton, and he wanted to get to 40 today, but he didn't. They obviously wanted to make sure that he was rested and healthy. Which, if he played all your other starters, why?
Yeah, yeah, right,
But
yeah.
he is the first quarterback, even though he wanted to be the first quarterback to hit 40 plus touchdowns in 6 seasons in a row. He is the first quarterback to hit 39 plus touchdowns 6 years in a row. So I'll take it. But
That's an
you know,
insane stat, by the way. That's
Ridiculous. No,
fucking
that's
insane.
that's ridiculous.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
he's the only one. But
That's insane.
same with Dan Marino though. Dan Marino was one of the most. He was like the most accurate quarterback there ever was, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. He went though, but we went to the AFC Championship twice. My thing is that we just, for some reason, the Bills got some sort of bad karma against them, which is why I got my little candle lit right now. St. John's is burning. Get rid of all the bad juju from this team. But you know, we got for some reason we have this bad history of playing dynasties in this. When it comes to trying
Wait,
to get to
wait,
the Super
sorry,
Bowl.
sorry, sorry to cut you off. Fam, you do not have a Jesus Josh Allen candle,
Oh
dog.
yeah, I pulled out the props.
Like you don't, bro.
Come
Put it
on,
back in the
do
camera
that.
again,
Do
bro.
that.
Yo, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, somebody from Hot Legs got that for me. It was too funny.
That
I had to
that is
keep it.
that is amazing. That is an amazing piece of something, whatever
Oh
that
yeah.
is. That is
Hey,
amazing piece of
JPS,
swag.
JPS, dude, I gotta be honest with you, man. And this is just, I have my biases, obviously
Mhm.
being
Yeah.
in the pod, but I'm just really trying to be fair and honest here. I gotta tell you, if there is any year where your Bills, I don't want to say the Bills don't have any excuses because obviously, in terms of how complete your team is, it's not complete, right?
Right.
You've had better defenses, you've had better offensive skill players to help Josh Allen in the past. I got you. But
Hmm.
dude, I don't know if there will ever be a better opportunity to win a Super Bowl than this year.
I
So,
know.
how do you feel about what happens if Josh Allen and the Bills don't win it this year, bro? How you feeling?
I'm looking at week 1 against the Jaguars before anything else. You know, uh, if they don't win it, obviously we got to sit and look at how the fashion that they don't win it. Let's see how the game goes. But I think you're right. This is our best chance. The only person that we might have in the playoffs that hasn't been expected so far. We're going to see what happens with this Ravens Steelers game going on. Lamar might be in the playoffs, and historically we've matched up a few times in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Obviously, we have a bad history against Jacksonville. Both when Tyrod was the starter and when Josh Allen was the starter, they've knocked us off in the playoffs. Houston definitely has our number, and nobody wants to play that defense right now.
Nobody wants to play that
Not
defense
So,
except for the Colts, ironically, which was kind of crazy because they was in
which
a
was,
dogfight.
yeah, the Colts
you know
was
what it
a
was, Riley? Hey man, they had no tape on Riley. Riley said, "Man, pick it up for y'all."
for sure. But at the same time, I also, I saw CJ a couple times, and I'm like, he makes mistakes still. So
Yeah, he does. He
I
does. He
think
does.
that's their weakness. I think
I will
their
say,
defense gives him chances, but that's their weakness.
I will say, Herbie, and credit to the Athletic podcast for this because I agree with this sentiment. They were comparing the units and they were saying like, hey, which unit do you trust going into the playoffs? And in terms of offenses and defenses collectively in the AFC, who
Right.
has a more dependable unit than the Texans in terms of their defense? That's
Right.
probably the best single group out of everybody playing. So
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
if that defense is pretty crazy, bro. Like
yeah,
Will
My
they're
Anderson,
dream
Danielle
matchup was
Hunter,
them going
like
against the Jaguars week 1. That was what I really wanted, but that
so
didn't happen because they
that
decided this.
the
The Bills decided to win.
and I want to highlight this comment again because this speaks to something that just might be the case, bro. The bad karma is Sean McDermott. It was a very stupid decision to play your guys today. Y'all didn't need to win. Like the
yeah.
team that you guys should have played should have been the Patriots. It should have been the 2-7. Like you're
Well,
right.
I get why they played all of our offensive guys, like our receivers and stuff. Like I get why they did that because they want to get them moving. They want to get them loose before getting and like figure out some stuff in the playoffs. Outside of that, I mean, we played James for what, a series? And Josh played one play. So like I'm not mad about the offense, but the defense, what are we doing? Like our defense is Dalton Kincaid should be protected at all times because we learned very quickly that Joe Brady's offense doesn't work without Dalton Kincaid as a safe option.
Yeah.
Like the screen pass only works so many times before they just jump the route. You know what I mean? And then the defense, I mean, Maxwell Hairston having an injury, I'm hoping for the best, but at the same time, he will like Trey White got so picked apart versus the Patriots with Stephon Diggs that game. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you're getting old, you're getting slow, you're getting burnt. So now I'm sitting
You
here
can't get
worried.
burnt by the guy that's slow too. Like Stephon Diggs, that
Yeah.
boy, he ain't even got no Achilles no more, bro. He shouldn't be dusting nobody, bro. So if he does a trade right, god damn,
Yeah.
All
goodness
he
gracious,
does now is personal chefs, but
yeah, and a lot more, and a lot more. And we out here choking bitches. Come on, dog. What you doing, man?
Yeah.
Wildin'. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's bring this conversation back to Josh Allen, right? So, I want to go ahead and add some context to
mm,
this portion of the conversation in regards to what happens, how Josh Allen is viewed if he does not make the Super Bowl, right? So, I have two different lists. Actually, I have two different type of lists. There's going to be the list of the quarterbacks who have never won a Super Bowl and the best quarterbacks to never make a Super Bowl and where he is on that list. And then the more important conversation, which is I have the list of all-time great quarterbacks in the playoff years that their main oppositions, the quarterback of their generations, the guys that they went against, did not make the playoffs with them. And so let's
mm.
start with the list of all-time great quarterbacks to never win or make a Super Bowl. This is to never win a Super Bowl. We obviously know the main guys, right? Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Frank Tarkenton, and that's just the high end. And then you got the next tier: Matt Ryan, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb. It's more people, but that is where if Josh Allen doesn't win the Super Bowl, he's in that list. He's with Matt Ryan. He's with Dan Marino, and he's with Jim Kelly. He's truly
Mm.
one of the greatest
Yeah.
quarterbacks of his generation.
Yeah,
Whatever, right?
That's no
for
brainer.
sure.
Yeah, that's no
This is the next list. The best QBs that never played in the Super Bowl. Warren Moon, Phillip Rivers, Dan Fouts. The fact that Tony Romo's name comes up here shows that if you're really great, you at least make it to the Super Bowl. Tony Romo should not be making these lists. Like, I love Tony Romo, really good. The fact that you see his name associated with best QBs to never play in the Super Bowl, that shows you that the great ones make it there. Randall Cunningham, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. That is the company that he keeps. He's clearly the best quarterback of this. Him and Lamar. They are a wide gap between them and Warren Moon and Phillip Rivers and everybody else.
For sure.
They both are in the Dan Marino, Jim Kelly tier. So he has to win one. And the reason why he has to win one is because me doing the research, I looked at Joe Montana, I looked at Peyton Manning, and I looked at Tom Brady. And ironically, all of these guys, they shared the same era. So it applies for all of them, basically. Joe Montana, his main ops were Joe Theismann, Boomer Esiason, and Jim Kelly, because he came in at 83, and then Phil Simms. There's only 1 year where his main ops didn't make it. That is 1998. There was no Joe Theismann, there was no John Elway, there was no Marino, but there was still Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, and Boomer Esiason. That was just 1 year in the 1980s.
Yeah.
One.
Well, that's the AFC though, right? That's the AFC.
No, I'm just talking about the people that he was compared. Like, these are the best quarterbacks of your era. Did they make the playoffs? Right?
Gotcha.
For Tom Brady, it's 1 year. It was 2001. There was no Peyton Manning, but he still had Brett Favre, Rich Gannon, Don McNabb, and Kurt Warner. That's it. That's it. This is a very unique situation for Josh Allen to not have Joe Burrow in the playoffs, to not have potentially not have Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. We'll see by the end of the day, and not have his main op in the playoff, Patrick Mahomes.
After beating them all three of them in the regular season.
Right.
Your man's has to do it.
I know. I know. But the thing is that again, we're asking Josh to play superhero ball. It just is what it is.
Who's the
That's
biggest
what
obstacle to you in the AFC? Who's the biggest obstacle? Just
the Texans. The Texans are the biggest obstacle for everybody. I like us to beat. I like it to go. It could go either way with every other game, but the Texans are the ones that we need to be able to beat. And if we can't beat the Texans, we're dog shit. We don't even. Might as well be a first round exit and get rid of. Start at the chopping. Get to the chopping block. Get some new shit going on.
Well, right now the Baltimore Ravens are up 7-0. So this conversation could be mute. You should be rooting for the Ravens, right? Because you don't want this conversation to actually happen. You don't want this to be associated with Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't even make the Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't even in the playoffs that year. He still couldn't make the Super Bowl. You should be rooting for the Baltimore Ravens. So
Honestly,
you at least have Lamar.
I'd rather play the Ravens over the Texans right now. It's crazy. I know it was a close game. I know it was a close game, but
I'm with you with that. Like, for sure, dog. So we talking playoffs. Let's get to the playoff bracket. I was trying to find the playoff bracket. Rod, help me out here. Are you familiar?
I know the numbers. What do you need? What
What
seeds
is
are?
the bracket? What are the seeds? And let's get to it.
Broncos are 1, Patriots are 2, Jaguars are 3. Either Ravens or Steelers are going to be 4. Number 5 is going to be the Texans. Number 6 is going to be the Bills. And number 7 is going to be the Chargers.
Ooh, and then on the NFC side, we got the Seahawks number 1 seed. The Bears are the number 2 seed. The Eagles are the number 3 seed because they lost. They lost to the
were they trying to win that game? I didn't watch.
I don't even know. They were trying. They didn't have Jalen Hurts, so they weren't trying hard enough. But still,
they're another team that I watched a lot of games for because my best friend's an Eagles fan, and man, it's hard to root for them.
It's very hard to root for them. The Panthers, yuck, the 4 seed. The Rams are the 5 seed. The 49ers are the 6 seed.
Is there a more undeserving division winner than the Panthers? You guys couldn't even win the game that's supposed to get you in, and you just lucked out because the Falcons beat the Saints. Like, man,
it's actually wild that they even got in. That's crazy to me,
bro. They like what was the point of even showcasing that game against the Bucs? Didn't matter. Didn't matter at all.
All right, so we got a comment, man. You can answer
I
this
see you,
comment right here, man.
Trailblazer. I see you.
In my opinion, King Henry, I'm sorry, would run all over Buffalo, and the game would be in Baltimore.
That's a good opinion, but at the same time, if I remember correctly, last season in the playoffs, he got stopped by DeMar Hamlin time and time again. So
That's a bar. Hey, talk your ish. Hey, talk your ish, man.
you got
Hey, man,
your big ass
hey,
running back got beat by a guy with a bad heart. That's
early in
crazy.
the season, man, they were up on the Bills, and then obviously incredible comeback,
No,
41-40, one of the best games of the season, actually.
never
Um,
count us out. I
uh,
mean, my opinion is that Josh Allen needs to win one for sure. But to say that the window's closing, it's like the window's never closed if Josh Allen's on the team. That's all I'm
That is
saying.
true.
when you have a great quarterback, the window never really closes.
That is absolutely
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
absolutely true.
Reality, yeah.
All right, man. So let's start putting this together, man. Let's start putting this together. Let's build the fin out of water Super Bowl champion, man. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the AFC, and then we're gonna start with the NFC, and then we're gonna go ahead and pick a winner, man. How we feeling? How we feeling? We got to come to an agreement.
Are
We
we
got to
going
come to.
matchup for matchup, or how are we doing this?
We going matchup for matchup. We're just gonna go off the head. And it's three of us overall. Basically, the 2 out of 3 is gonna take that team, man. So starting with the AFC. Obviously, the Broncos have a bye. We have the 2-7 matchup: Patriots versus Chargers. JPS, who do you got? I'll be the tiebreaker, if necessary.
I mean, it could go either way, but I guess I'm gonna go Patriots.
Rod.
You know what, Herbie? Even though I actually don't, I'm gonna give the Chargers some bail, Herbie, just because
It's
one,
a good
we
call.
can't, we can't have two AFC East rivals picking another to win.
Yo,
And on
Khalil
top of that,
So
what
Khalil
we
Mack
got
is a dog.
on
That's all
top of
I'm
that, we
saying.
got
so disgusting. So
uh,
since he picked the Patriots, I'll rock with Justin Herbie and the
There
Chargers.
you go.
and definitely you can't because we got Marty Guppy in here that's a Patriot fan, bro. So we can't be showing him no love either, dog. So
Yeah, sorry.
unfortunately, I got to think with my head and not my heart, and I will be the tiebreaker, man. I am going to go with the Patriots. The Patriots going to advance. The 3-6 matchup, JPS. We already know who you picking. We know who you're hoping for, but
Hey,
it is
I'm
going to be the
hoping for.
Jaguars versus the Bills. Rod, I'm gonna
I don't
start
know.
with
I
you.
think I like us to get over the hump against the Jaguars this time, though. I think
Well,
you know
listen, man. You know how I feel. I ain't never
we're
betting
due.
with Trevor Lawrence. F out of here. I don't give a fuck who he could be. He could be Troy Aikman reincarnated, bro. I ain't never betting with him. Fuck him. All right, it's up, man. It's
Well,
up
I
with
guess
Trey.
I guess this is
It's
a
because he can grow
predictable.
hair on his head, ain't it?
This is a predictable.
That's part of it. That's part of it. But fuck him.
Because look, I'm gonna go with the Jags, and look, obviously the best player in this game is Josh Allen, but the better team is the Jags.
Right.
The better team is the Jags.
I
And
will
Absolutely.
say, I will say, I think their defense isn't as good as it has been past years. At least not recently.
I'll say this: their defense this year has been better than at least like the previous couple of years under Liam Cohen.
Absolutely. They are a lot better,
True.
but they could be had. They could be had.
They could
All
be
Yeah,
right.
better.
So
I
right
see
now
holes.
we got the Patriots advancing. I'm gonna go with the Bills. Fuck the Jags. The Bills are advancing. I would never, in my good conscience, root for the
Damn,
goddamn
they killed
Jacksonville
too many of your
Jaguars, man.
parlays, huh?
100%. We're gonna assume, and that is exactly right. We're gonna assume it is gonna be the Ravens, so it'll be the 4-5 matchup: Ravens versus Texans. Who you got? Right, JPS. I'm gonna start with you.
Oh man, depends which CJ shows up, but it's because of that defense. I'm going Texans.
Rod.
I'm going Texans, man. They've been far too impressive in recent weeks for me to go against them, especially defensively.
Hey, everybody in the chat, make sure you drop who y'all think is going to win in the chat as well, man. We want to get y'all opinion as well, guys. All right, let's take it to the NFC, man. Seahawks have a bye, obviously, so we're going to go ahead and start with the 2-7. Another division matchup, man. The third time. It's going to be the Bears and the Packers. Rod, who you got?
Herbie, I gotta go with the Packers because they're my Super Bowl pick, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I can't abandon them now. Let's put up a shut up. So Packers, man, Packers.
All right, JPS.
Give me the man with the painted nails. I'm going Bears.
I am gonna go with the Bears simply for the fact that it's just they just find a way to keep coming back. Like today, they were down 13-0 at halftime. Next thing I know, it's 16-60. It's like, dog, how do they just keep coming back? They are the reverse Miami Dolphins. Ben Johnson is the reverse Mike McDaniels, bro. He
100%.
knows how to actually make adjustments. He knows how to identify what is going wrong and how to attack it and how to prevent the other team from attacking what he is being attacked on. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with the Bears, bro. They are not the Bears that I'm used to, bro. This is a different type of Bears, man.
One thing that I
Next,
want to say about that matchup, though, is that I think something that is becoming increasingly aware is that Green Bay has two very good quarterbacks, but the better one isn't starting. That's my opinion. So I
Who's the
think that's
better?
part. What's
Malik
that?
Willis. He think Malik Willis is better than Jordan Love,
I
which
did.
I can't
Yo,
even. I
Malik's
can't
Malik
even.
winning.
Willis is literally
I
Malik's
playing
can't
winning.
even.
bad.
Bro, he
It's
was
not that
balling. Stop
crazy.
it.
It's
Stop it.
not even that
What
crazy,
happened? JP,
man.
Stop
stop.
it. I
Just
think Malik's
stop.
better. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. The way he got off, I ain't gonna hold you, right? I don't think he better, but it ain't.
I'm not listen. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying like you can't just say it after just a small sample size like that.
True, true,
He's played
true.
quite a few games where he's done well, though.
Absolutely, that is true. All right, next
Hey,
game:
listen. All right, all right.
Eagles 49ers 3 versus 6 seed. JPS, who you got?
That's a hard one. Depends. They going to run Saquon this week or not? You know,
That's
right
a
now
fair point.
I'm leaning 49ers, but with all the drama the Eagles have had going on this year with the AJ Brown stuff and the not running, all of a sudden they just stopped running the ball for some reason and they stopped running the brotherly shove on the 1 yard line. Like I don't get it. I don't know how this team should be a statistical anomaly and it's just not. I don't get it. So I'm going 49ers because of that.
All right, Rob, man.
Listen, Herbie. If you tell me who's gonna be on the 49ers,
Yeah,
sure,
right.
I'll pick them. They're not healthy, bro. Like I was watching that game against Seattle yesterday, and even though Seattle really had no business even being that close with them, I'm gonna go with the Eagles just by virtue of the health factor. And the Eagles aren't completely healthy, but they're healthier than the Niners for sure.
Yeah, and their defense is playing like a top 5 defense again, and that's where I ultimately have to side with the Eagles, just for the simple fact that as much as I hate them, as much as it pains me, this is the weirdest team of my entire lifetime, dog. I've never seen that team that hates each other as much as they do. I've never seen a team where truly I don't even know how they win games. I've never seen a team that has been so dominant for so many consecutive years now, and nobody even knows if their quarterback is good at this point. And they just find a way to dominate because they're truly built for the playoffs, dog. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. And then the last but not least, well, actually, it's 100% the least, bro. It is the number 5 seed Los Angeles Rams and the team that shall not be named, bro. The team in Carolina, dog. They don't even deserve to be
The
named, bro.
sad thing
I'm
about
going
it is,
Carolina.
Herbie, but here's the thing: Carolina beat
They
them
beat the
already.
Rams. They
No,
beat
I
They
the
beat
know.
them already.
No, I know.
So this is like a toss up for real. This is a real toss up. Although I'm
Can
going
you
Rams.
imagine? Can
I'm
you
going Rams. I'm going
imagine
Rams.
that the
I'm going
Carolina Panthers advance past the team that is probably the highest rated to go to the Super Bowl on the NFC right now?
Yeah,
Can you
that'd be
imagine
nuts.
that,
That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts.
We've
Now,
seen it. We've seen it happen.
and the fact that we've already
dude?
seen it happen, yeah, that'd be
The
crazy.
Beastquake moment.
Bryce Young for Super Bowl MVP.
That
That would
would be
be
freaking crazy,
insane.
dog. That would be crazy. Now, I would say we could go ahead and play this game a little bit further, but I ain't got time to try to remember what person and all the matchups and stuff like that. So we'll do it next week, bro. I ain't got time for that, bro. We'll continue who we think is going to advance to the Super Bowl next week on next week's show. But all in all, this was an excellent episode. Before we get out of here, man, JPS, what do you have to say? You have any parting shots, any last words, my brother?
Nah, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate what you do. I like being here.
Nah, this was an
We
awesome
love
episode,
having you, bro.
bro. We love having you, even
Yes,
though
sir.
you got the
I
back
thought we were
channel
going to
and
be more
you.
controversial, to be honest. I thought
I thought so too,
when you were
man.
messaging me earlier in the week saying it might get spicy. I was like, nah, we
You
agree
know
on
Hey,
what?
that one.
No,
listen,
it would get spicy if the Dolphins mattered.
it would get
It would get
spicy if we didn't have a common ground when it came to Josh Allen, because at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
are a objective fan. It's when people lose the ability to be objective about the people that they love and the people that they root for. That's when stuff gets contentious.
Listen.
Because I love Josh Allen, you love Josh Allen, and Payne's Rod to say it, he loves Josh Allen too. What's not to love about Josh Allen?
Yeah.
It's just certain
The only the
conversations. Yeah,
the only downside to the entire thing is that typical Bills fashion, we go up against the dynasty every time we get close to the Super Bowl,
it
whether it be the
is. Yeah,
Kansas City
man.
or the Dallas
It's that's
Cowboys. Your Dallas Cowgirls are
that 13
the
seconds
bane
though,
of our
man.
existence.
Well,
That 13
The
seconds is just
NFC
not
East in
even.
general was the bane of your existence in the late 80s.
No, yeah, I know, man, but we don't need to talk about missing the field goal or any of that. Leave me alone, all right? We don't need to talk about. We definitely don't need to talk about the Redskins loss. So,
That was that
Commander.
was
Sorry, whoa. Don't.
hey man, don't be misogynistic, man. Don't be racist, man. They are the commander. Why they just couldn't stick with the football team? That's neither here
I
nor
actually
there,
thought
man.
Washington
Well, no,
football
but
team was there.
you know that they're trying, like the tribe that they were based off of is trying to get the Native American tribe. They're trying to get them to change the name back now. I'm like, what a full circle. That
That's
whole
hilarious.
organization
That's
is just a
hilarious.
mess.
It
That's
is a mess.
hilarious.
It's absolutely a mess.
And
But
they won a Super
with the
Bowl.
huh?
And they won a Super Bowl
Yeah, which is they won two
against
actually,
my
which is
team.
insane. It's insane. They won two.
You know
Doug
what it is,
Williams. Yeah.
and I don't know. We'll see how it goes going forward. But I'm starting to get worried about Mr. Pagula's age too. So I'm starting to think that he's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's see if
yeah.
he decides to make some changes this year.
Let me see, man. All right, with that, man, we are gonna go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate you, JPS. Appreciate everybody in the chat, the participation. It was a phenomenal episode. And thank everybody for tuning in with us. This is one of the longer episodes that we do, but it flew by. An hour and 30 minutes felt like 20, bro. And that we couldn't do that without you, JPS. We couldn't do that with you, Rod, the best co-host in the world. And everybody who rocks with us, we rock with you. See y'all next week.
Shout
Going
out
the
to Rod's AC.
playoffs. Shout out to Rod. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that is life changing, bro. You look like you just splashed in the pool, boy. That thing was baking your ass.
I had to turn the AC off.
Nah, facts.
It had me hot.
Nah, facts, for
It had
real.
me hot.
We'll see y'all next week, man. Deuces.
Deuces.